Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Alex Epstein, your lifelong San Franciscan and realtor serving San Francisco and the Bay Area. Today, we're going to be talking about a market update for November 2025. In this video, we'll talk about single family homes, condos, buyer demand trends, neighborhood by neighborhood pricing, and what this means if you plan to buy or sell this winter. By the way, down below, I'll link the resources I use to come up with the statistics and information that I'm using for this video. Let's begin. So we'll begin by starting off with the big picture. What's going on in the market? In essence, the fall market has remained surprisingly active. This is driven by easing mortgage rates and a very tight inventory. What this means is that the number of available properties on the market is very low compared to historic standards. For buyers, their confidence has risen due to lower interest rates, which means that the market is much more competitive. Activity boosted contracts and closed sales across both single family homes and condos. And lastly, competition remains strong. Moving on to single family homes, the headline here is that single family homes remain extremely competitive due to rising prices and shrinking inventory. Due to those factors, we are still in a seller's market where sellers tend to have the leverage in negotiations. Moving on to the key stats here, the median sales price has increased to 1.85 million, which is a 5.7% year-over-year increase. The price per square foot has increased to 1,056, which is a 6.5% year-over-year increase. Closed sales have increased 11.1% year-over-year. Contracts have increased 5.6% year-over-year. Inventory has decreased 20.6% year-over-year, which goes back to what I said about us being in a seller's market and inventory being so tight. Days on market is around 13 days, which is unchanged. 79.3% of listings are going over asking. Again, shows how competitive the market is. And we are typically going 115.1% of list price, meaning that if something's listed at $1 million, we're going at, 15.1% higher. So maybe $1,115,000 higher. Hopefully I did my math right there. What does this mean in layman's terms? Pretty much homes are selling higher and faster, and buyers are bidding aggressively. Here in San Francisco, we have a very low inventory. We have less than 1 month's supply of listings. This low supply results in prices continuing to be pressured upwards. This is one of, if not the most competitive fall market San Francisco has had since pre-2020. What does this mean if you're a buyer? If you're a buyer, this means that you should expect to compete against other buyers looking for the same property, and many times expect that the final accepted offer will be well over list price. If you're a seller, this may mean that right now is not a bad time to list your home on the market. There's a preconceived notion in real estate that the holiday season is not a great time to list your property, but based on what I just read to you and the statistics and the actual data, it seems like right now is actually a decent, if not good time to be listing your home. Moving on to the condo market. The condo market has had a huge surge in activity and is thriving. The condo market was hit specifically bad and harder than single family homes and other asset classes during and after the pandemic. Right now, we are seeing a significant rebound. Condos saw one of the strongest months of the year with massive jumps in closed and pending sales. Moving on to the key stats here, as you can see on the screen, the median sales price has gone to 1.19 million, which is a 4% decrease year over year. The price per square foot has dropped slightly to $1,035, which is a 1.1% decrease year over year. Closed sales have increased dramatically, 48.3% year over year to 310. Pending sales have also increased dramatically to 36.2% year over year at 297. Inventory has decreased substantially to 582 listings, which is a decrease of 26.9% year over year. Days on market has risen 1 day to 22 days. Percent over asking, 44% listings have gone over asking, and the average percent of list price is 103%. So listings are going about 3% over asking, which is not as high as single families, but still over list. And as you could see, 44%, which is, almost half have gone over list price. Interpreting this data here, this means that activity is skyrocketing, even while prices remain slightly soft year over year. The lower prices compared to peak years in the San Francisco condo market has led to an increase of activity amongst buyers. Furthermore, the shrinking inventory leads us us to believe that the condo market is strengthening and stabilizing. Ultimately, it's a competitive market, but not nearly as competitive as the single family market. For buyers, this may be a great opportunity to get in while prices are still relatively low compared to peak levels. Keep in mind that competition is increasing, but it's still manageable. And I think there still might be some room to grow. For sellers, pricing strategically is crucial. Well-priced listings are moving fast, so I recommend pricing appropriately. Now on to neighborhood highlights. We're gonna look at median area values here in Q3 in 2025. From a single family home perspective, the standouts are the Sunset is 125% of list price at a $1.6 million median, meaning that it's the highest over ask citywide. So the Sunset District is doing very well. Further south in Bernal Heights and Glen Park, we are at 117% over asking at an average of $1.73 million with 67 homes sold, which is huge volume. So right now, a lot of things are moving and trading in the Bernal Heights and Glen Park areas. Up north in the Richmond, we are at around 116% average over list price at $1.96 million, which is very strong. And lastly, down south in Noe Valley, we are at approximately 109% over list price at $2.8 million with also high volume. Now in the luxury and trophy markets such as the Marina and Pacific Heights, in Marina and Kalahalo, we are at a $4.9 million median sales price. And in Pacific and Presidio Heights, we are at a $4.8 million median just below the Marina and Kalahalo. Now into the more affordable neighborhoods, in the Excelsior and Portola, we are at a $1.108 million median, which are still competitive with listings selling for 112% of their list price. In the Bayview area, we are at a $912,000 median. Onto condos and TICs, which are tenants in common or tenancy in common. In the Pacific and Presidio Heights area, condos are selling for approximately a $2.1 million median. In Mission Bay, near the ballpark, we are at a $1.24 million median. In South Beach, Yerba Buena, there's a huge amount of volume at 107 units sold. In the Mission District, we are nearly at a $900,000 median with a 104% price compared to list price. As always, San Francisco is a small area, but it doesn't move as one big market. A block by block makes a huge difference. As you can see, in terms of strongest competition, from a single family perspective, the Sunset, Bernal Heights, and Glen Park stand out. For more affordable neighborhoods, Excelsior and Portola stand out. From a condo and TIC standpoint, the Mission District is standing out with a strong level of activity. South Beach and Yerba Buena stand out with a large volume. And what I'm seeing from a buyer standpoint to find relative value, I think condo markets can be great. What I've been hearing from other real estate agents in my weekly sales meeting is that condos are going well over asking price and are obviously higher now than they were at their lows, but there's still room to run between the prices they're selling at now and peak highs. So while the trend is upward, I still think there's still more room to grow. And I think right now could be a great time to get into a condo. Up next, we're gonna be talking about market momentum versus last month. And we're gonna be talking about a month over month snapshot versus a year over year. From a single family perspective, the median sales price has gone up just over 6.5% month to month. Days on market has gone up 1 day. From a condo perspective, median sales price has gone up 9% month over month and has increased 1 day in terms of days on market as well. So as you can see, prices are rising month to month going into winter, which is not usual. This shows a pent-up demand post-summer, and this momentum may continue early into 2026, depending on where rates move and the inventory on the market. Lastly, what does this mean heading into winter? Well, winter is no longer a downtime market. Some trends to highlight here is that buyer demand still remains high due to the lower rates. Inventory remains extremely low, especially for homes. We are still in a multi-offer environment, especially in certain neighborhoods. And the condo market is finally stabilizing, meaning that there are signs of recovery. My advice here from a buyer's perspective, I recommend that you are pre-qualified and ideally fully underwritten, are offering strong terms, and can move quickly. For those that are getting outbid or are not able to afford places that they thought they would be able to, maybe look at some upcoming areas like the Portola or Excelsior districts. And from a investment standpoint, whether you are using it as an investment property or are living there, I think that the biggest opportunities right now are in the condo market. From a seller's perspective, you still have the leverage and we are still in a seller's market, especially if we're talking about single family homes. Preparation and pricing matters more than ever because buyers are being selective. And if your property is in a walkable neighborhood or has adequate outdoor space, you are in the top tier of demand. Thanks for watching this video. Again, my name is Alex Epstein, a realtor here and lifelong San Franciscan in San Francisco. If you have any questions at all about what I'm speaking about, are interested in buying, selling, investing, or relocating here in the San Francisco Bay Area, please reach out to me. I'd be glad to help. Again, my name is Alex Epstein. Phone number is 415-730-6290. And my email address is alex@alexepsteinre.com. I'm available anytime. Lastly, please leave a comment down below for what video you'd like to see next and subscribe here to keep up to date with my latest content. Thanks.